Acts chapter 2, verse 16, this is kind of the title of the sermon. Courageous leadership is being raised up. Pioneers of his presence. I'm seeing this. I'm so encouraged on this trip to Australia, this kind of whirlwind trip with my family, which, by the way, I'm super pumped. When we were in Bondi Beach, my 4-year-old Malachi asked the Lord to come into his heart. He got saved in Australia, which my 6-year-old's been very worried about his salvation for many years. Dad, Malachi doesn't love Jesus. You know, and she would always ask him, and he'd be like, nope. And then we were walking along Bondi Beach, and he just goes, Daddy, can you just pray with me? I want Jesus to come into my heart, you know? And I was like, oh, this was worth the $7,000 in plane tickets for my family to come. Because Malachi's saved. You know, we had a party. It was fun. We ate a $7 muffin or something like that. This country's outrageous. I don't know how you guys survive here. What in the world? Oh, Jesus, help them. Financial miracles. I knew that. I mean, I knew it was expensive, but it's just hitting me now. Maybe it's because I have 3 kids, you know, but I'm like, if we want to go out to breakfast, another croissant, $6, and this is, I'm like, $6? It's a piece of bread, for crying out loud. Anyways, so Acts chapter 2, verse 16. So the Holy Spirit comes, it's poured out, people are losing their minds. I think like we commemorate this, but we tame it way down, guys. Like, this was absolutely psychotic. The church was born in such an intensely ecstatic, wild moment. Well, and then the tongues of fire came. Well, yeah, of course. And then they were speaking languages. No. This was chaos. This was complete and utter chaos. Like, we would have, like, Christians nowadays would have left this meeting and got on Facebook and been like, some weird thing happened tonight. It's like a demonic thing. You know, like, we wouldn't have known what to do with this. People are speaking other languages. They're screaming. They're shrieking. There's tongues of fire appearing over people's heads. Right? And people are like, what is going on? Nobody knows what to say or what to do or how to describe it. You know, and I was saying I feel really bad, you know, because there's probably a couple dudes that they really wanted to be there, but they just had to use the bathroom at that moment. Bad time to use for a bathroom break, you know. Or they had to go home to take a shower, or they had been there for 7 days and they had legitimate reasons why they weren't there. But there was a group of people that pressed on and contended and would not leave until they got everything Jesus promised. He told them, wait in Jerusalem. Tarry, press in for it. And so we see as tongues of fire come, Peter stands up. Verse 14, this is courageous leadership. This is right after he overcame his failures. He denied Jesus, da-da-da-da-da. This is all in a short time. He had to bounce back from that. He had to bounce back from being a total and utter failure to be restored, to then stand up in the middle of the greatest outpouring the world's ever seen and to describe to everybody what was happening. And Peter stood up there in full faith and confidence, and he said, Peter stood up with the 11, raised his voice and addressed the crowd. Fellow Jews and all you live in Jerusalem, let me explain to you. Listen carefully to what I say. These people are not drunk. That's great. That's just the greatest first line about the church. I'm going to describe the church to you right now. First of all, they're not drunk. It's the first statement that everyone should know. Which, you know, I feel like sometimes it would be nice if we had to say that again sometimes. I don't know. I feel like if it's the first thing that was said about the church, but yet we never say it about the church anymore, maybe there's something about recovering that. Anyway. These people are not drunk as you suppose. It's only 9 a.m. No, this is what was spoken. This is that which was spoken. Now, if you're a Jew and you grow up your whole life studying the Torah word perfect, then you know every single prophetic word that's been spoken in the major prophets and the minor prophets and in everything. And Peter is telling them, listen, these words that we have known our whole life as Jews, the prophetic promise in the book of Joel that says that he's gonna pour out his spirit, guess what? This is that prophecy. And what's so alarming about this, guys, is that there's no correlating events here. Like he's speaking this prophetically out of his heart because he knows it. But yet you look at Joel chapter 2 and it talks about dreams and visions. It says nothing about fire and tongues of fire and languages. There's nothing that would seemingly connect the two. Are you with me? That's my point. It's not obvious. But Peter is like, well, duh. This is Joel 2. And he stands up with confidence. And my point is I feel like this is the season and the time where God is raising up courageous Australian leaders that are wild, that are not bound by the religious systems, that are aware of what's happening globally, that are connected with this raw hunger, and that are going to stand in the council of meetings and declare, remember those prophetic words from 20 years ago? This is that. Remember those things in our journals we've been praying and believing and standing with? This is that. I believe this is that season, and I've just come up here, my last day in the nation to rile some people up because I believe that we're on the precipice of an incredible awakening of souls in this nation. And I even feel like in my spirit, I feel like there's been an unsettling for some people. There's been kind of a, it's like as Christians, a lot of times we feel this unsettling thing. We feel this unnerving thing. And we give the enemy, the devil, way too much credit. We go, oh, that's the spirit of this, and let's break that off and do this. What if it's actually the Holy Spirit that's making us uncomfortable with the season we've been in, or making us uncomfortable? Or what if it's this transitionary period in time where things are just not quite together, but they're coming together and we can't really put our tongue on the end of what it is. We can't quite explain it. But yet God's raising people up to say, no, this is that.